y'all. This is me, Tasha C, and welcome to the Tasha C Show podcast. Shout out to my YouTube and podcast fam, cousin, loves, and positive support manifestation. Thank you for all the support, and thank you in the near future for everyone who will be supporting me on one or both platforms. Okay. So anyway, y'all, we're just gonna get right into it. Today is should be our Kings and Queens volume 58. And today is March 29th on a Sunday, March 29th, 2020. So, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Of course, I'm going to the internet this time instead of to flat out Instagram. I went up a little too far, so just give me about a second. First was here where I had it set up. Okay, here we go. Now, our first one, we send condolences to a civil rights leader who passed away recently. This is from CNN.com. Joseph Lowery, civil rights leader, dies at 98. This is from Amir Bird and Trisha's era CNN, updated. I think it was 3:49 a.m. on Saturday, March 20, 2020. Okay. Atlanta, Georgia CNN. The Reverend Joseph Lowery, a leader in America's civil rights movement, died Friday. He was 98. Lowery's death was confirmed by family representative Armour Kennedy, who said he died of natural causes. Often called the dean of the civil rights movement, he worked hand in hand in the movement's formative years with Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesse Jackson. He once said he missed Martin and other civil rights activists who had died before him, but he felt that God was keeping him for a single cause: to address the injustice of the criminal justice system, particularly towards poor black men. It's the last facet here of racial oppression, Lowery once said, of the American criminal justice system. Police encounter led to a career in civil rights. Joseph Eccles Lowery was born in Hitsville, Alabama on October 6, 1921. His father owned a small business, and his mother was a part-time school teacher. He married Evan Gibson in 1950. The couple had 3 daughters, and Lowery had 2 sons from a previous marriage. His hometown was typical of southern American villages of the 1920s, where racial lines were well defined, and the Ku Klux Klan used crosses, burnings, and other scare tactics against African Americans. Lowery said it was an encounter with a policeman at his father's sweet shop when he was 12 or 13 years old that triggered his desire to work as a civil rights activist. A big white policeman was coming in, and he punched me in the stomach with a nightstick, Lowery told Atlanta Tribune magazine 2004. He said, "Get back down, N-word. Don't you see a white man coming in the door?" After graduating, that's so sad. After graduating from college, Lowery became an ordained Methodist minister who served congregations in Alabama and Georgia. He later became a peace activist, joining the fight against segregation and organizing marches in Selma and Birmingham, Alabama. He served nearly half a century as a pastor, spending much of that time with Central United Methodist and Cascades United Methodist in Atlanta, Georgia. In 1957, as racial tensions rose across the United States, Lowery helped start the Southern Christian Leadership Conference civil rights organization with King. Their work helped lead to a passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which President Lyndon Johnson signed. "We have been through sit-ins and kneel-ins where we have been beat up and locked up and cursed out and locked out," Lowery said in a 1994 interview. "It was a milestone, a watershed. It helped America take off the cloak of official segregation." Lowery later served as the SCLC's president for more than 2 decades, leading protests for civil rights in South Africa and peace in the Middle East. He remained an activist even after retiring in 1992, fighting for gay rights and election reform and against capital punishment. We had to remain ever vigilant and energetic to protect those rights, lest but the clock be turned back, Lori said. He vowed never to seek a political office, like some of his fellow activists, because he said he could achieve more for the civil rights movement from among the people. He was a champion for civil rights, a challenger in justice, a dear friend to the King family. Thank you, sir, said the King Center tweeted Friday night. Bernice King also tweeted Friday, saying it is hard to imagine her without Lori. I am grateful for the life well lived and for its influence on mine. I'll miss you, Uncle Joe, she said. Lori was a recipient of the Medal of Freedom. Lori started the Coalition for the People's Agenda in 1998 to educate and register new voters, and he continued to be involved in the cause until his passing. In 2006, he was criticized for playing politics at the funeral of Coretta Scott King, the widow of Martin Luther King Jr., for railing against the Bush administration and the war of Iraq. We know now there were no weapons of mass destruction over there, but Coretta knew, and we know that there were weapons of misdirection right down here, Lori said. Millions without health insurance, poverty and violence, for war, billions more, but no more for the poor. Supporters said he merely echoed King's sentiments against the bloodshed in Iraq. Lord received numerous honors late in life. He delivered the benediction at President Obama's inauguration in January 2009, and Obama awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom 6 months later. With all the accolades and honors he received during his lifetime, Lori never stopped working to empower people to unite. What am I saying? Unite for? Forgive me, y'all. To unite, to fight for their rights. As one, we can poke you in the eye, he told the Atlanta Tribune, holding up one finger, then shaping his hand to a fist. But if we come together, we can knock you out. And God rest his soul, and condolence to him and his family and his legacy. Okay, now we're going to go. I did fine. Okay, again, I think it's the 6. It should be the 6 out of 7 queens that I had that one particular mini article. Okay, and like I said, okay, here we go. We got a couple of these. Okay, I also wanted to do history.com's version of the female queen, because originally I was going to do that as well. The hashtag, I forgot, y'all. When I thought about it, I forgot to look up in Google if there was any more individual female kings, I meant to say, as well. Okay, it was updated 2019, original December 2009. Had a such, y'all forgive me, y'all know, how I butchered, butchered words is a nice way of saying it. Okay, but anyway. Here we go. Hatshepsut, the daughter of King Pharaoh, became the queen of Egypt when she married her half-brother Thutmose II around the age of 12. She was that young? Okay. Upon his death, she began acting as a regent for her stepson, the infant Thutmose III, but later took full powers of a pharaoh, becoming a co-ruler of Egypt around 1473 BC. As pharaoh, Hatshepsut extended Egyptian trade and oversaw ambition-building projects, most notably the Temple Dowry Bali located in western Thebes, where she could be buried, depicted at her own orders. As a male, in many contemporary images and sculptures, Hatshepsut remained largely unknown to scholars until the 19th century. She was one of the few and most famous female pharaohs of Egypt. Hatshepsut's right of power. Hatshepsut was the elder of 2 daughters born to Thutmose I and his queen Amers. After her father's death, 12-year-old Hatshepsut became the queen of Egypt when she married her half-brother, Thutmose II, the son of her father, and one of his secondary wives, who inherited his father's throne around 1492 BC. They had one daughter, Neferin. Thutmose II died young in around 1479, and the throne went to his infant son, also born to his secondary wife. According to custom, Hatshepsut began acting as Thutmose's third regent, handling affairs of the state until her stepson came of age. Okay, did you know Hersa was only the third woman to become pharaoh in the 3,000 years of ancient history, Egyptian history, and the first to obtain full power of the position. Cleopatra, who also exercised such power, ruled some 14 centuries later. After, okay, wait a minute, y'all. What the world? I'm up here reading this, and then the pop-up of the history emails popped up. I'm trying to get back to, okay, let me see here. I'm trying to get back to the darn thing, and didn't have the little pop-up thing at first. Okay, let me continue y'all reading. To exit out the little thing, it just had blocked the whole thing. Okay, let me get back to my reading. After less than 7 years, however, Hester took the full unprecedented step of assuming title and full powers of Pharaoh herself, becoming co-ruler of Egypt with Thutmose III. Though past Egyptologists held that it was merely the queen's ambition that drove her, whereas recent scholars had suggested that the move might have been due to a political crisis, such as a threat from another branch of the royal family, and that Hersa may have been acting to save the throne from her stepson. Hersa as a pharaoh. Knowing that her power grab was highly controversial, Hersa thought to defend her legacy, pointing to her royal lineage and claiming that her father had appointed her his successor. She sought to reinvent her image, and in statues and paintings of that time showed that she be portrayed as a male failure with a beard and large muscles. In other images, however, she appeared to traditional regalia. Helsa surrounded herself with supporters in key positions in government, including Subrahman, her chief minister. Some messages some might have also been heavily slumber, but little evidence exists to support this claim. As pharaoh, Herodotus took under an ambitious building projects, particularly in the area of Thebes. Her greatest achievement was the enormous memorial temple at Dar Arbor, considered one of the architectural wonders of ancient Egypt. Another great achievement of her reign was a trading expedition she authorized that brought back vast riches, including ivory, gold, leopard skins, and incense to Egypt from a distance known as possibly modern-day Etruria. Here's his death and legacy. Here's Hatshepsut probably died around 1458 BC, when she would have been in her mid-40s. She was buried in the Valley of Kings, also home to Tutmoningen, located in the hills behind Deri Bauri. In another to legitimize her reign, she had her father's Scarabus reburied in her tomb so they could lie together in death. Thutmose III went on to rule for 30 more years, riding to be both an ambitious builder like his stepmother and a great warrior. Late in his reign, Thutmose III had almost all the evidence of Hersa's rule, including the image of her as a king on the temples and monuments she had built, assurated possibly to erase her as an example of as her erase her example as a powerful female ruler, or to close the gap in the dynasty line of male succession. As a consequence, the scholars of ages knew little of the hieroglyphs' existence until 1822, when they were able to decode and read the hieroglyphs on the wall of the Deri El Bahari. In 1903, the British archaeologist Howard Carter discovered Herbert's sarcophagus, one of the three that she had prepared, but it was empty, like nearly all the tombs in the Valley of the Kings. After launching a new search in 2005, a team of archaeologists discovered her mummy in 2007. It is now housed in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. A life-size statue of a seated Hercules that escaped her son's destruction is on display at the Metropolitan Museum in New York City. And that is it, y'all, for that one. Now we're going to go, this is, I think, the sixth queen out of the seven at the particular article. And this is from WeBuyBlack.com. A daily dose of history, Queen Nadi, Mother Shaka Zulu. That was a mini-series. I seen that part of that as well. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I forgot. I don't know if it was actually in the 1970s or the 80s, but they had shown that. Get ready for me to chop up some words. Dr. Daddy Kibi, Anarani, meaning the sweet one, was born ca 7060 in Narangini. She was the daughter of Bibi, a minor chief in the Nangrini tribe. Because there's no really documentation of child, very little is known about the queen's Nadi's early life. Okay, the next section is wedlock. Before she became Queen, Nadi was not treated like royalty. It's believed that after visiting relatives in Bangano Hills, Nadi in the small caravan that she was encountered Zulu warriors. One of those warriors was Sanjan Kano Keja, king of the Zulu people. San Kano impregnated Nadi out of wedlock. When Nadi first informed the king of her pregnancy, the village elders rejected her claim, stating that she become affected by the Shaka beetle, which causes stomach to bloat. Nadi was in fact pregnant, and when the child was born, she named him Shaka after the beetle. She birthed Shaka Zulu. Okay, next part is shame. Nadi, the newborn Shaka, was escorted to the Zulu capital where they were shamed. Senakador initially denied paternity of Shaka, but eventually married Nadi. She was then placed at the status of the lowly third wife. Not only Nadi a mother out of wedlock, but she was also in a forbidden in-clan marriage. Zimbabwe. It was forbidden for Nadi to marry a Zulu because her mother was the daughter of Kwabe chief. Since Kwabe and Zulu claimed the same ancestry, intermarriage between the members of either tribe was forbidden. Nadi and Shaka were not welcomed with open arms. She was constantly bullied by Shaka's other wives and their children. Eventually, Nadi gathered Shaka and fled to the Zulu tribe. They lived in a nomadic life, wandering from place to place until they found the Matilla clan. The Matilla clan embraced Nadi and Shaka. The clan leader Dinsar took young Shaka under his tutelage, teaching him how to lead and fight. They remained with Mother's clan until Shaka made his way back to the Zulu people. When Shaka returned to the Zulu tribe, he claimed the throne. He was now king of people who tormented his mother. Shaka not only appointed Nadi queen as Zulu people, but also as his advisor. Shaka began to worship his mother, placing her on the same level as a godlike figure. Queen Nadi advised her son until she died October the 10th, 1827. Even then, she had great power of the Zulu people. As Shaka mourned the loss of his mother, he ordered any family who had a child within a year of the Queen Nadi would be executed. Damn. Okay. Nadi went from mistreated tree love right to the Queen of Peoples Queen of the Zulu people. Okay. Let's see here. There's another one I've got. I might as well read and now be done for today. Queen Nadi, the mother. What is this? I don't know the whole. This is agefree2.com, I think. Okay. Queen Nadi, mother of the Zulu kingdom. South Africa's very own Queen Nadi is most famous for being Shaka Zulu's mother and was the daughter of Brady, a past chief of the English tribe. She is widely considered to be one of the greatest single parents who ever lived. When confronted by animosity, rejection, and humiliation, she raised her son Shaka the best way she could, never to give up on life, and to have strength of will, and to believe in his destiny. She raised him to believe in the power of unity and in the concept that we are the same. Nadi devoted her life to her son and his siblings, protecting them the best she knew how, seeking refugees, and later finding him the best mentors in Denwaro and Narni, amongst others. Before she became a queen, Nadi was not treated like royalty. It is believed that after visiting relatives in Bongo Hills, Nadi and the small caravan that she was with encountered Zulu warriors. One of those warriors was Sane and Gakamba, king of Zulu people. Sana is a pregnant Nadi out of wedlock. When Nadi first informed the king of pregnancy, the village elders attracted her claim, stating she had become infected by a Shaka beetle, which caused her stomach to blow. Nadi, in fact, was pregnant. When the child was born, she named him Shaka after the beetle. She birthed Shaka Zulu. Queen Anne advised her son until the day she died, October 10th, 1827. Eating death, she had great power over the Zulu tribe. As Saka Mornala's mother, he ordered that any family who had a child within a year of Queen Anne's death would be executed. Not anyone for being mistreated. Lowly third wife to Queen. It was all the people, and there's a burial tomb they have a picture of. And they kind of just copy and paste some of the information I was talking about the other one. Okay, y'all. Hugs and loves, y'all. Take care. Enjoy the retro Sunday. Stay safe. Good prayers for manifestation, positive vibes. And I will see y'all tomorrow with another volume of our Kings and Queens. Take care, y'all. Hugs and loves. See you on the next one.